Hi, CistReactZ. How you doing? Did you know that 70% of you guys are not subscribed? Also, did you know that I am living in those 70%'s walls right now, and if you want me to stop, you'll hit that subscribe button? What is up, you awesome kissers? It is CistReactZ, guys. Today we're reacting to Game Theory. We solved Kissy Missy Poppy Playtime. So make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the Game Theorists, and comment down below. Let's get into this bot. Experiment MatPat exits the facility. Employees ring the alarm and give chase. All available security staff begin pursuit of MatPat, but by this time MatPat was estimated to have traveled half a mile from the facility. So it's basically just the same thing as the Kissy Missy video. I'm gonna get jump scared by a PNG.
What was that? Stay alert. There. Stay calm. Don't worry. I'm not here to hurt you. How about a Diet Coke?
Diet Coke?
You want one? Yeah?
Come on. You like Diet Coke? What the hell was that? Oh my god!
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, the show that only gives you one instruction: have fun!
Smash the subscribe button.
Oh,
The
jeez.
serious red text that isn't the same as the rest? Totally not suspicious. Today,
Yeah,
with
totally.
the FNAF timeline
Never.
finally behind me, we are overdue to cover something completely
Yeah, okay.
different. A game where we explore an abandoned children's
Scott posts one teaser, he'll have like 5 theory videos waiting.
entertainment venue filled with oversized characters that were at one point
No
friendly,
shade towards
then turned
MatPat,
evil on account
but that
of being
always
possessed
happens.
by the souls of dead children. See, completely different. Yes, my friends, we're hopping back onto the Poppy Playtime train because while I've been busy over in my own personal animatronic hellscape, Mob Entertainment has been dropping all sorts of new
Animatronic
content. The
hellscape.
spin-off title Project Playtime, a complex multi-month-long ARG, and my other favorite form of content, analog horror YouTube videos. Because you can't spell analog horror without the lore. Oh, I suppose you
Where's
can.
the E?
There's no E in analog horror. Well, guess what? It's a silent E anyway. Call it the phonetic spelling of lore.
Yeah.
So far, Mob has released
E
two
silent.
quote-unquote lost VHS tapes to their YouTube channel. One from 1992 and the second from 1995. Look, the titles have the dates in there and everything. Even
they
a
really suck keeping these things
.mp4 at the
inside,
end for
huh?
that truly authentic lost footage feel, despite the fact that the MP4 as a file format didn't exist until 2001. But who am I to judge? Anachronistic file formats aside, these things aren't
Dang,
just
I was
filled
born
with a
with
bunch of mindless
MP4s?
spooks build and
Am I
hype for the
old?
eventual release of Chapter 3. They're also filled with clues to the lore. And I think, thanks to one of these, I've been able to solve the identity of a fan favorite character. Everyone's beloved jumbo pink plushie, Kissy Missy. Who's hidden inside our floppy little friend? I think I have the answer for you. So grab your
think ain't
tranquilizer
my
darts
favorite
and
character.
flashlights, theorists.
He's
There's a
ugly as
theory
hell,
on the loose.
like its
The
blue
first
counterpart.
VHS released onto the channel was called Restricted
terrifying.
Disappearance 06/18/1992.mp4. In this video, we see Huggy escape the facility and run out into the woods.
Like, look
with
at
a
him
large
running on
group
all
of Playtime
fours.
employees in
Terrifying.
pursuit. 5 end up dead and 6 remain missing. Seems like Huggy can't be stopped. But then the video ends with an ominous scene of the giant Huggy peacefully standing next to a normal residential house. He's captured and
Taller
brought back
than
to
the
facility.
house, too.
In terms of lore, this video
the
does a lot with very little. On the surface, this tape feels very straightforward. Huggy escapes the facility, scares ensue, and then he's brought back. But this short, basic narrative actually goes a long way to confirm many suspicions that we've had about the characters and the events of this franchise. First, this video reinforces the timeline of the Bigger Bodies initiative, Playtime Co.'s push to create giant toys that help around the factory. We know via unlockable cards that are found in Project Playtime that Mommy Longlegs started as a Bigger Body creation before they wound up making toys of her in 1991. So this VHS taking place in 1992 fits into that rather nicely. The project is
Okay.
in full swing at this point, and the trapped toys are starting to get restless. It also confirms something that we've suspected.
The eyebrows
for a
actually
while
make them
now,
look more
that some of these
terrifying.
giant toys were created using orphans in some way. That's why we see Huggy standing outside of a house at the end of the tape. He was just trying to go back home, the home that he was either adopted into or his foster home. His childlike
Oh.
instincts taking him back to the last place that he felt safe. It's this incredibly sad, somber moment that does a lot to showcase the tragedy of this game's story. And that's not all. This Huggy seems to be acting differently to the one that we met in Chapter 1.
Since we're like on the topic of game theory and he did mention FNAF and all that stuff, could you imagine if the FNAF kids tried to break out of the pizzeria or pizzerias? Yeah, I said the word right. Why did I act like I didn't? They try to break out the pizzeria and then they actually go home like Huggy probably did, like in Matt's theory. Could you imagine like how their parents would react? Like Freddy just walks in, mom home, and then she thinks it's their kid, but it's actually an animatronic bear ready to bite her brain out.
1. Huggy escapes the facility, but there's no mention of violence towards the staff. Huggy only seems to become violent to the employees after they shoot at him. This tells me that Huggy, and presumably some of the other experiments like him, aren't naturally violent. It also reinforces what we see in Project Playtime's tutorial. Huggy is largely complacent until the prototype urges Huggy to kill.
They are trying to build more toys, more like you. Kill everyone in sight.
It really seems like the bigger bodies monsters are the collateral damage in this war between Playtime co-employees and the prototype, Experiment 1006. They're the innocents that wind up being caught in the middle. This is something that we can start to see more clearly in the next tape, Restricted Relocation 0808-1995.mp4. In this newest VHS tape, we see Kissy Missy being transported towards play care in August of 1995. The tape repeatedly tells us not to view the footage. I can't possibly see that plan going wrong in any way. Again, just shows the absolute negligence of this company. So of course, we keep watching, and in true Playtime co-fashion, things start to go wrong. We travel down the rails with Kissy strapped to the tree.
Why don't they just delete the footage?
We pass by graffiti on the wall that reads, "The hour of joy is at hand." In between camera shots, we see text flash on screen meant to be instructions for employees, but then each message winds up getting overridden by capitalized red text that says basically to do the opposite.
Straps
it tells
binding
them
the
to
giant.
release the straps that bind Kissy Missy, which, as you'd expect, means that the employees wind up dead at the side of the tracks. It's another simple, straightforward tape that does an incredible job of hiding tons of lore clues in plain sight. Let's just start with the date, shall we? Poppy's already done a great job of mapping out a very clear timeline for us, unlike some other franchises. At this point, we know when each toy was made, starting with Poppy in 1950,
trauma of dealing with the FNAF lore.
Boogiebot in 1993. And because Mommy Longlegs was a big body before her toy released in 1991, we also know that the giant toys were in development sometime before that. At this point, the only key date that we're really missing is the day that the toys went rogue, destroying the facility and either kidnapping or killing members of the staff, as we hear in the background of this Chapter 1 VHS tape.
That's why I'm making this log, so that the same mistake won't be made twice.
But now, thanks to a combination of this relocation tape as well as the developer interview, I think we can tell when it happened. Recently, the developers went onto Discord to answer a bunch of questions that the community had, and one was about the date in which the Playtime Co-Factory shut down. Well, I'm sure we all would have loved to have a definitive answer from them. Where's the fun in that? They had to make us work for it. What they did clarify, though, was that the factory did not shut down in the 2000s. This then narrows our window to a 7-year period between 1993 and 1999, which, let's say, is a lot more precise than we've had up to this point. But I actually think we can do it one better. Take a listen to the audio that we hear in the background of the Restricted Relocation tape.
Screaming sounds intensify.
Hear those screams in the background? Do they sound familiar?
Whether those who are beneath us understand it or not.
Those screams, the screams of employees being mauled to death by giant toys, those are the screams that we can hear in the distance. The event that shut the factory down happened on this date, August 8th, 1995. This is the day of the Great Toy Rampage, and it's all on account of him. Experiment 1006, the prototype.
Though still missing, today's events are no doubt in relation to him.
He's the one orchestrating this attack on the employees. Not only is he speaking telekinetically to all the toys in the facility, urging them to kill, but he's also the one manipulating these VHS tapes, altering the text to all caps or using the color red to communicate with us, getting not just the monsters to rebel, but the humans watching the tapes to listen to his commands. Suddenly, that graffiti that we see in the tunnel, "The hour of joy is at hand," makes a lot more sense.
Could you imagine something you created just trolling you like that? Like, and also, bro, looking at that footage, you can clearly see somebody might have tampered with the tape because the white letters are behind the red ones.
Feels like something that Experiment 1006 would say,
and
or more specifically, the person that became one.
Like, wouldn't you think someone like hastily edited over the footage if the main footage is still in the background?
006, Elliot Ludwig. His whole goal was to bring joy to children, and after being betrayed and turned into a monster by Leith Pierre and the Doctor, it makes sense that he would use the same terminology, almost ironically. These toys were made from children to be workhorses. Now, he will finally be able to free them and give them the joy that he had promised them since the beginning. Except, there was one thing that didn't quite go according to plan. Kissy Missy didn't kill the train staff like she was supposed to. Now, I know y'all probably think that I've lost it. Clearly, those Playtime employees around her her feet are dead. Just look at
Yeah.
the blood on Kissy, around her feet, around her hands, around her mouth. This is an open and shut case, right? But to that I say, look again.
What do you think?
Look
these are?
again.
Is that not blood splat? I mean, could be scratches.
1006 is the only creature that we currently know
saying
about
it might
in
have
this
been the
entire
prototype.
facility that has claws capable of creating marks in the wood like that. He has to have been here during this moment, shredding up the employees once he realized that Kissy wasn't going to be doing it herself. What's more, Kissy Missy is laying on top of the scratches. It means that she was standing aside while the prototype slashed and slaughtered everyone around her, and then resumed.
Can you just imagine the smiling face watching you die?
Obedient toy. Truly the best girl. You can even see what appears to be bones or intestines on the floor by her feet. Something that would have been eaten if this was any other giant toy. But Kissy refused. She left them.
Hey, you
This
never know.
wasn't
You don't
an
know how
act
she
of
likes her
hunger
food when
like
she
with
spit it
honey
out,
killing
you
people.
know?
This was 1006 acting out of revenge. Revenge for turning him into a monster, for torturing the kids that he swore to protect, and for locking away the only thing he ultimately cared about, his daughter, Poppy. But I think we can actually keep going here. I think we can actually prove the identity.
I don't see anybody
of Kissy
swallowing
Missy.
bones when they eat
We're rarely
chicken.
given names of actual humans in this franchise, but when we are given a name, they tend to be repeated a lot throughout the chapters to show
Alright,
that
joking
they're gonna
over.
be important to the ongoing narrative. That said, there are still a couple names right now that haven't led to anything substantial. For instance, during chapter 2, we can actually find this note.
Entire batch of toys is miscolored due to Patty Hall sabotaging the painting.
Patty Hall.
Saboteur has since been dealt with.
Patty Hall. This was a new character that
Yikes.
we'd never heard about before and was never mentioned again. That struck me as odd. Even one-off characters like Avery, the disgruntled worker from a VHS
This character
found
is
in
rich,
chapter 1,
not
gets
Avery.
himself a second VHS in chapter 2 to flesh him out a bit. But Patty, yeah, she was just there. A random name on a random rejected toy form. Or at least that's the way it was until the ARG launched. In case you missed this one, the ARG involved us following the story of a new character, Rowan Stoll, an employee who
Rowan
was
Stoll.
slowly figuring out that something wasn't quite right at Playtime. And
think I
as a
remember
part of
seeing
that
that.
ARG, he released a bunch of internal documents
think.
via an FTP server that we could access. And one of those documents on there was this, a disciplinary document for a familiar face, Patty Hall. Quote, details of occurrence, sabotage of retail shipment. This week of 1/2/91, employee intentionally sabotaged factory equipment. In particular, a paint machine. The employee mismatched 57 paint canisters, resulting in an extraordinary amount of toys no longer being
Bro, can you imagine the dedication somebody has to go through for some hate and shit like that? 57 canisters? Bro, you could have done your whole shift just doing what you needed to do. But no, you spent probably time after your shift mixing up these canisters. That... She'd have nothing to do. She didn't have nothing to do.
suitable for retail. Retail shipment number 018345 was recalled, resulting in a significant amount of lost revenue
That
as
was
well as
personal.
damaging Playtime Co.'s brand image among several major retailers. There is substantial evidence supporting the assumption that this sabotage was done in some sort of defiance to several of Playtime Co.'s practices. Plan for disciplinary action, effective immediately. Employees demoted
Yeah,
from
more
toy
like Huggy
designer
eats her
and will be sent
brain.
downstairs to storage B to receive further instructions. All of this took place on January 2nd, 1991, signed by none other than our good friend and leader of the Bigger Bodies Initiative, the Doctor. The next time we're down in
Oh.
storage B, there are no employees
not Doctor
working
Who.
there.
Not to
It
be
is
confused with
literally
him.
a storage room for toys that are being experimented on. Notice the blood that covers this smaller Mommy Longlegs doll in the background. The only living thing that we see in storage B, Kissy Missy. Could it be that Kissy Missy and Patty Hall are actually one and the same? I know that might feel like a bit of a stretch, but think about what we're seeing here. It's 1991,
You never
so
know.
the Bigger Bodies Initiative is in full swing. We have a character in Patty who's openly defiant to those in authority, a chaotic neutral, just like we see with Kissy defying the prototype's rampage. And we have ourselves a character associated with creating alternate colored versions of other toys, just like how Kissy is an alternate colored Huggy. Plus, the biggest clue of all, the fact that we've only
I
seen
really hate
storage
those
being
multicolored
mentioned with
Huggies.
regards to these two characters screams a connection. Last
Oh man, he just gave me like just flashbacks to playing the Project Playtime and having to hit the Huggies on the wall so you can come back and get resurrected. Oh god.
it would explain why Kissy Missy is friendly towards us in Chapter 2. Sure, she's against Playtime Co. She has been from the start. She was sabotaging their toys, but I also don't think that she's on the side of 1006. She witnessed the monster kill her fellow employees in cold blood on the train. My gut is that she just wants this whole place to burn. And so when she sees us, a person trapped inside the facility just trying to get out, she sees an opportunity. We are the only ones that can stop not only 1006, but also destroy Playtime Co. from the inside, have those still alive brought to justice, and have the fond legacy of Playtime Co. tarnished and forgotten forever. That is why she helped us. And given the instructional video shows her heading towards the play care,
so Kissy Missy being a potential ally
again in Chapter 3, helping us to take on whatever new threat awaits us. But hey, that's just a theory.
Surprised we haven't gotten the trailer.
Game theory. Thanks for watching. And if you want to keep this poppy train a-roll.
All right, I think that's the end of his video. So, yeah, that sounded like a pretty crazy theory. Kissy Missy actually being a potential ally, and I mean, yeah, she hasn't really directly harmed the players, so she could be connected to that person who would cause those acts of defiance with Playtime Co. And she could also be actively defying the prototype's whole thing going on in the factory right now. But what do you guys think in the comments down below? If you guys want more Poppy Playtime theories, hit that like button, comment below, subscribe for more to become a Kisser today, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.